Sorry about that.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Asperi TV Political Update. My name is Clinton of Rome. This morning, we'll be looking at the regulation of foreign goods as CBN Governor charges Nigerians on lower appetite for foreign goods. I'm not alone in the studio. To discuss with me on this issue is Mrs. Ijeoma Nwafo, who is Nigerian's representative to the Head Institute for Innovation of Law and also a social commentator. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Going ahead, the Central Bank of Nigeria Governor, Godwin Emefiele, yesterday advised Nigerians to moderate their taste for foreign goods with a view of stabilizing the nation's economy. The governor gave this advice during an interactive section with stakeholders on the 5-year policy trust of Apex Bank in Kaduna. Emefiele told reporters that the best way to sustainably grow the economy was to produce what we eat in this country. Now, Mrs. Ijeoma, what do you think about this?
I think again thank you for that question. I think again we're doing things backwards. You're telling people to look into their taste for foreign goods. I don't think it's the taste for foreign goods that is the issue. Before you even make such statements, you have to ask yourself, how ready is Nigeria as a country to compete with the taste that people have for foreign goods?
Okay.
What's the alternative? Does it exist? Do we have the capacity? So those are some of the issues and questions that ought to be answered before we jump into telling people to watch their taste. I mean, if it's their taste, it's their taste. So are we creating the environment for competition so there'll be local alternative to that taste that they have? And that's the question we keep missing when we're making policy statements. You don't make policies without, first of all, doing the groundwork. And it's the groundwork that is the real work. And it seems to be the one that we tend to avoid more in our country. I don't know why, but that tends to be the case. So for me, it's not people's taste that is the issue. You can't tell a human being to lower your taste or to change your taste so that you can accommodate internal growth. No. You make the internal environment conducive for such equivalent productions to take place as an alternative. I was an MD to a pharmaceutical company, locally produced and manufactured pharmaceutical supplement. And people keep saying, oh, your products are more expensive than the Chinese one. But in China, for crying out loud, even the smallest cottage factory is not reliant on diesel. It's not operating on generator. The government supports them because they want them to produce. The labor is cheap. None of those things are the same in Nigeria. The X factor in doing business in Nigeria is so much higher. So even if we say that manufacturing company is established to compete with Chinese companies, the odds are stacked up against them. So CBN should start addressing those issues that makes it difficult for us to have a competitive alternative, a comparative alternative to the so-called taste that Nigerians have. If they have the taste, what are we doing to give them a local alternative? And when you start addressing those things, such as ease of doing business, issues about power, multiple taxation, there's so many tedious things about that. When I was in that sector, I kept asking the owner of the business, why don't you just import? Well, he's an elderly statesman and he said he needs to employ young people. He wants to contribute, all these sentimental things. But the reality is it's easier to actually import. Even when you import, the MPA will frustrate the heck out of you. You can't, as a business person, estimate how much you're going to pay for clearing until you actually do it. Because the bribe you pay today won't be the bribe you pay tomorrow. The cost of forwarding and clearing won't be the. So, I mean, when we start, if we're serious and start addressing these issues, then you can start talking about taste. You can say, why don't you buy product B instead of product A that we have locally? is as good as product B, is cost effective as product B, because we've given them the financing, they have power, they have power, they have this, then we can now start having those discussions. We always have backwards discussion. We want superficial statements. We always make superficial statements about very deeply embedded socio-economic issues. Instead of addressing the deeply embedded roots, we make superficial statements.
Okay, I want to get your I want to get your thought on this. Do you think this in any way will drastically reduce inflation, or there are other things that needed to be done?
That's what I'm saying. That statement to me has nothing to do with inflation. It does nothing. It's just a superficial remark he made at an event. You understand? In a real sense, if in fact Nigerians were encouraged and the environment was conducive to produce alternatives to those external or foreign-made things, then we can start addressing issues of inflation. But if you think by the mere casual statement he made that that's going to do it, no, it's not going to do it. It has never done it. And that's
so what do you think Nigerians should do? What do you think the government, what's the right approach do we take?
That's the right approach is, first of all, start addressing real issues. Multiple taxation, stop it. If the FIRS is going to be the source of revenue, let it be the only single source of revenue across the country. Issues of power, start really establishing industrial clusters where they can have their own independent power generation units, since obviously the country is struggling with having a unified one. Those are real issues, like real issues. What is happening with the MPA? How come a business person cannot predict that if you have a container of X, if you in the next quarter, if that X comes in, they are going to be paying X amount? How can't we predict that in a country? Do you understand what I mean? You can predict it in the US. You can predict it in the UK. Oh, 10,000 units of this comes in. This is how much I'm going to be paid. Nobody is going to add 10 kobo to it. But in Nigeria, you're bargaining every time you're doing that transaction. So there's small things and big things we need to take care of. There's so much leakage in this country because there's no sincerity. Even the people talking, if I tell you there's no single, the moment I'll choose to talk, right now I'm on that. The moment I'll be independent enough, there's no single person occupying seat in Nigeria that I won't tell you how they legally obtain their wealth. Because they encourage the leakage.
Hello? Yeah, we lost Dr. Ijoma Nwafo there. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, the program continues. Stay tuned.
Do not forget to follow us on all our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Turn on the notification button to get notified on our videos. Thank you.
All right, welcome back. We'll try our possible best to get Dr. Ijoma Nwafo back. Let me go to our social media platforms to get reactions from people. Akwewe Love It from Delta says, we can't stop consuming foreign goods. We all know how Nigerians value foreign goods. Then Justice Okoye from Abia State says, it's been years we have been calling for Nigerians to start producing goods and shun foreign consumption. Musa Rabio from Kano says, federal government should advise other means of stabilizing the economy. The process cannot work. Hello.
Yes.
Hello, you're back. So according to the CBN governor, he said that if this move is actualized, that it will help the rate of unemployment in Nigeria. Is that your own position?
Yes, if we're able to increase internal manufacturing, internal consumption, and cut down on external, that's importation and external consumption, absolutely, it's going to create jobs. But how? The job is in the how. How do you do it? What is it that government has done or can do to make that actually happen? What is in the business environment that encourages people to go out and hire other people? What's the framework for actual execution and implementation of this very lofty projection? Absolutely, of course, if your manufacturing goes up, internal manufacturing goes up, you're going to hire people to do the jobs and more employment. But how? What makes that possible? I've not understood why every year, for instance, let me tell you one simple, small, low-hanging fruit. The National Assembly,
Okay.
the constituency allowance they get. If for somebody who's sitting every 4 years, you're told that for every year you sit, your constituency allowance will go into opening a factory in your constituency. That means each member after 4 years must have opened 4 factories. Even if that factory is employing 10 people, that's 40 people employed every 4
Okay.
years. And it's something that people will see. You can't lie about it. I don't even care if they make money from the factory. Who cares? But set up a real factory with real people, manufacturing real things, making real money, and earning a living. Do you understand? That's something we can measure.
Okay.
Not every year you see a member, he's using his constituency allowance for training and training and training, something that you cannot measure. They'll tell you that it's for empowerment. Who are they empowering? What, keke, motorcycle, grinding machine? How long are we going to continue deceiving ourselves? So these are things that you don't need to make a law about it. The National Assembly, if they mean well, they can task themselves to make their constituency allowances about that. Nobody is going to hold them to that. They are the ones that
Okay.
make them. So if they decide that that's how it should be and they design it, fine. Then you look at things like multiple taxation.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? 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 Hello?
All right. We had a network issue. Hello, Ma.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have said a lot, and what you keep on hampering on is what are the way forward to salvage the situation, not just suggesting. Now,
Exactly.
The CBN governor is of the opinion that Nigeria invested in agriculture and production of basic items to cater for its needs and exported goods to strengthen naira and economy in the 70s. So, Do you think we should back on that? Is there any need to go back and reverse and take it up to strengthen the naira?
Absolutely. I mean, let me tell you how much potential we have in this country. If Nigeria positions itself to even export to other West African countries that were better than, other East African countries that were better than, other southern African countries that were actually better than some countries. No, don't mind all this cry that we do all the time. If we now reposition ourselves to just focus on the continental Africa, forget Europe and US for now, and Asia, just even concentrate on continental Africa. I know a friend of mine who got wealthy selling dry pepper in Liberia. I mean, he has moved on to other things, but that's how he broke the market in Liberia, selling dry pepper. Okay. So if you plug in agricultural agri products alone, processing included, not just raw, with some value addition, and you focus on the African continental market, you will see impact. Before you even start talking about the Europe and UK and US and other markets, let's even start small, because sometimes what also kills a lot of these plans is that they are bogus, they are not realistic. They are not smart plans. They are not specific. They are not measurable. They are not achievable. Neither are they reliable or time bound. But if we make it more structured, to low hanging fruits. Let's even start low hanging. We'll get somewhere. How much help? How far do you think Innocent would have gone if it was encouraged robustly to export cars outside Nigeria to just feed the continent of their own needs? You understand what I mean? Pick any sector. If Zynox, for instance, who is into computers, if he's able to supply all or most of it will be the same thing as the Microsoft guy. Any sector you pick. But my question still remains that we know what needs to happen. We even know what is wrong. The problem with Nigeria is implementation. How do you go from knowing what you should do to actually doing it? That is our biggest challenge and continues to be our challenge in this country. So the CBN governor should go further than telling us what would get us there, and just get us there. Do it. Like the old Nike slogan, just do it. Just do it.
Sorry, Mary, before you go, a last word. What do you think we should do? Because you have said a lot.
Yeah.
Is there any solution on board Nigerians supposed to apply?
I've given solutions, institutional solutions. I've talked about power sector, what needs to happen to make power more accessible, even if it means PPP. I've talked about taxation, multiple taxation. It is a problem. I've talked about making facilities available to real people. Now, for real Nigerians, because they're institutional things and they're communal things. I want every Nigerian, I'm addressing the young people. Please, if you get your certificate, fold your certificate and put it away somewhere. If you cannot start a business, no matter how small, to feed yourself, I'm not talking about feed your husband or your wife. After school, feed yourself. Become economically independent. Your degree is useless. Every Nigerian should now start looking for what to do, services and goods to provide to earn a living. The days of looking for government job is gone. It is completely gone. So if we can even start by feeding ourselves, then we'll go into communal feeding, then local government feeding, then state, interstate business, before we start talking about exporting to other countries and all of that. So for me, at the local level, everybody should tap into whatever entrepreneurial spirit they have, because we must all survive this country. We must. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man. This is what we'll call a wrap on the program. We appreciate you on Aspire TV for this cool update. All right, this is why we'll call it a wrap on the program. Don't forget to log in on social media platform Aspire TV on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I remain your chief host, Clinton, from saying bye for now.
Do not